Hey guys, welcome back to CyberTruck 1. I'm reposting a video I made 3 years ago because we're getting closer to the reality of things. It was a video, the Ford Lightning versus the Cybertruck, the pluses and minuses, the tail of the tape, which one was better. Obviously at the time, it was based completely on what each company was telling us. But as you know, the Lightning's been out. They made it to the market first. It certainly has its problems. There's many of them sitting in lots now, not being sold, and the range when towing and doing some other things is not what it's cracked up to be. So please watch this if you haven't seen it. Once the Cybertruck is here, my goodness, Investor Day really showed a lot of the new capabilities that the Cybertruck is going to have when it comes to the market. It's no longer just a thought in someone's head. But watch this. Let's see what I got right, and let's see what I'm going to get wrong. And in another 6 months or a year from now, when I have my Cybertruck and we can do a review of this piece by piece, we're going to see how close I was to being right and how many things I got wrong. All right, guys, thanks for visiting CyberTruck 1, and I'm getting really excited now. Things are starting to move along. Every day there's a little tidbit of information. It is on the horizon now. The Cybertruck will be here. I can't wait for mine to show up. I believe, if my calculations are right, I'm a very low number, pre-order number, and so I'm hoping to do some magical things, and we'll talk soon. So why do I have a say here about pickup trucks, or electric cars for that matter? So let me start off by saying that for the last 30 years, I've been in construction in some way, shape, or form. I did home remodeling and buying houses and fixing them up, but then I converted that company into a renewable energy company. So anyway, been out there. I've owned 3 F-250s, and I now own currently one F-450. All been Fords. Been a Ford guy my whole life. The only thing I ever owned was a Ford. I've also owned electric cars for about 10 years. So I've owned pickup trucks for 30 years. I've owned electric cars for about 10. Started off with a Chevy Volt, moved to a Ford Energy, then transitioned to a BMW i3, finally a Tesla Model S. So to say the least, I have a love affair of Ford pickups, and I have a love affair for electric vehicles. When I saw all the pomp and circumstance around the Lightning and everyone patting themselves on the back and people thinking that this pickup truck is somehow the latest and greatest, I was rather shocked. And I'm going to explain here why as much as I want to see the big three get into this market, because we need more than Tesla to be carrying the ball. If you haven't been following this, it may seem that because they have a frunk that somehow... meanwhile, Tesla's had a frunk for 10 years. It may seem like this is some great new technology and that Ford is going to now enter the market. I'm sorry to tell you guys, but it couldn't be further from the truth. So I'm going to lay out a case and show you some basic, standard, accepted ways of judging pickup trucks. And you're going to see that the Cybertruck, okay, yes, granted, I want one. I'm going to have one. But just because that's the case doesn't mean I can't see the reality of things. So for starters, any of the comparisons I do are going to be purely on the Cybertruck Tri-Motor and the Ford Platinum. Okay, so, and the reason I'm doing this is there will be no lower level cars, okay? This is a ploy, in my view, by Ford to just pretend they can sell a pickup truck for $40,000. First of all, we all know in any industry, a cell phone, a truck, do you ever go anywhere where they say the starting price is X and you walk out the door paying that money? Never happens, okay? So get that out of your mind. Furthermore, Ford spent a half hour telling you all these great features and capabilities. Well, these features and capabilities only exist in the upper model. So why would you buy a model and be so excited about 10 things that aren't included in the base model? So Cybertruck is likely never building their single motor Ford is highly likely never building their $40,000 pickup truck. These are just on paper. They're good for discussions about the world building trucks for $40,000 that are electric. It's not happening right now, and even if it did, again, it's 5-6 years away. So every comparison I'm going to make today is about the real going to be built CyberTruck tri-motor and the real going to be built Ford Lightning Platinum. Okay, I'm referring to this as the old boxing term, tail of the tape. So you can see in the top left, we have the Ford Lightning Platinum. Then we have whether it wins or loses. Then we have the Tesla Cybertruck tri-motor. And then whether it wins or loses and some description there. And then finally off to the right, we just have them each category numbered. So we're going to start off like in real estate. They say, what's the most important thing? Location, location, location. Well, in electric vehicles, what's the most important thing ever? Range, range, range. So here we have the Ford Lightning Platinum getting 300 miles and the Tesla Cybertruck going 500 miles. So already it's not even in the same category, not even in the same ballpark, okay? And not only are these things drastically different, but let me just explain a little further. When a vehicle such as the Ford Lightning Platinum says they're getting 300 miles, that is a best case scenario, okay? EV distance, miles, and range are controlled by three essential things. Speed, okay? The faster I go, the less miles you get. Topography, if I go up really steep hills in the Rocky Mountains, it's going to get worse. And third, temperature. Really, really hot, really, really cold, the car is going to use energy to compensate for that. So at 300 miles, in theory, if you're doing a bunch of these things, you could go down to 250 miles, maybe less. I don't know. It depends on, again, how fast you're driving, how steep the mountains are, and how cold it is. So just keep that in mind before you've done anything. Well, this is a pickup truck, guys. What do you think happens when you connect a fifth wheel to the back of it, or a travel trailer, or a truck camper, or you put cinder blocks or 2 pallets of solar panels or whatever? So if I'm starting at 300 miles and I'm already going to be less than that because of the three things I told you that affect every vehicle, what on earth is going to happen when I'm pulling a 30-foot travel trailer or fifth wheel? Are you going to make it to where you're trying to get? I'm not sure you can. However, with a Tesla tri-motor Cybertruck that goes 500 miles, let's just say I have no data on this. I don't know what ultimately it's going to do, but if I'm pulling something and I'm traveling down the highway and the truck is very, very heavy, let's just say it loses 200 miles because of that. Okay? I still have 300 miles to go. So, I think we could stop here, but I'm going to continue down the rest of the list. Towing capacity. The Platinum, 10,000 pounds. The Cybertruck, 14,000 pounds. Cybertruck is 4,000 pounds better. That's pretty darn significant. Payload, 18,000 pounds versus 3,500. Again, it's almost double. The Cybertruck can hold twice as much. Bed length, 5.5 feet versus 6.5 feet. Now, look, I know a lot of people that own pickup trucks that never do anything with them. I think there's a big status symbol amongst males to drive pickup trucks. I've been a contractor. A 5.5 foot bed does not help me, okay? The truth be said, I've been an 8-foot bed my whole life, because if you're carrying plywood or 2x4s or 2x10s or something, you have 14 footers, you start getting these shorter beds, it just doesn't do it for you. But even still, if the world has changed a little bit, maybe you order stuff and have it delivered more often than you throw it in the back. I think that's a little bit more of the trend, but still, there's a 1 foot difference between the bed length of a Ford Platinum and a Cybertruck. Road clearance. 8.9 inches on the Platinum, 16 inches on the Cybertruck. Huge difference, huge. You want to go to Moab and run over some rocks? You want to go off-roading? You want to climb over a log? You want to go through water? again, that's not even in the same category. Horsepower, 563 to 800. Okay, I mean, we won't dwell on that too much, but there's obviously, it's 237% or 230 horsepower more. The torque, 775 versus 1033, 258 pounds per foot stronger. 0 to 60. The Platinum's claiming around 4.5 seconds. Tesla's claiming maybe under 2.9 seconds. So 1.6 seconds in a 0 to 60 is a lot. Seating. The Lightning holds 5. The Cybertruck comfortably holds 6. So if we're going back to being a working man's truck, you're a landscaper, you got a bunch of guys. You're a framer, you got a bunch of guys. An extra spot in a vehicle is maybe one less vehicle you have to drive to the job site. The approach angle and depart angles. In both cases, the Cybertruck is significantly better. If you're, again, going out to Moab and going over rocks and going up steep hills and so forth, they're coming down a steep hill. Adaptive air suspension. This really hasn't been discussed much. Does the Lightning have it? No. Does the Cybertruck have it? Yes. This is big, guys. You drive over go through gullies. It adjusts the height. You're carrying loads. You have a camper or you're towing on the back. It's going to level the truck. It's going to dampen things. You can adjust the height. It's a very good feature. The Lightning doesn't have it. Autopilot. Blue Cruise, as I think it's referred to for the Lightning. So, okay, they both have it. I would argue that the Tesla's version of this is in the master's degree level, and Ford's still in the 9th grade. So the Blue Cruise only works on certain roads. They only have a limited time of experience in testing it, and I think it's only on 1 or 2 models, whereas Tesla's had it as I think in every vehicle for the last 7 or 8 years, or it's either an option or I think it comes standard. Here's the next one. Full self-driving. Okay? I don't think Ford even knows what that is. And Tesla has beta vehicles on the road now, and they're increasing them on a semi-regular basis. This is a real technology that's going to be implemented soon for Tesla. And this is a game changer. This is a vehicle that you don't need to drive. You sit in the back seat. You're minding your own business. You're reading. It drives itself. It's probably the biggest change in vehicles in 100 years. Okay, remember I told you about all the problems associated with range? You know what saves you with this? And it's done this for me many times, is supercharging, fast charging. You drive really far the one day and all of a sudden, theoretically, you may not make it back home. Well, does Tesla have supercharging? Yes. They have the largest, best locations, most amount of stalls. They are leading the world in supercharging. Does Ford have anything? Ford has 0. Well, actually they do. They have a bastardized, they don't have their own technology. They're essentially renting it, buying it from 2 or 3 other companies that are doing it. So they will have something. Is it as good? No. Is it as common? No. Is it as fast? No. Are you subject to having to swipe a credit card or your phone to pay for it? Yes. Could Volkswagen, who owns most of the fast charging for Ford, decide to charge you more or cancel the contract or whatever? I don't know the answers to this question, but I know it's not Ford's. They're basically using someone else's technology and calling it their own. Bulletproof glass. Does Tesla have it? Yes. Does the Lightning? No. Is it everything? Do you need it? No. Why not? Does it make the truck safer? If you're at a job site, something crashes into it? Yes. Onboard compressor. Does Ford have it? No. Does the Cybertruck have it? Yes. Can you run all your tools, all your pneumatic stuff, framing nailer, finishing nailer, a paint sprayer? I mean, the list goes on. Anything pneumatic at the job site, you can run off the truck. Will it rust? The answer to that question is yes, the Lightning will. The Cybertruck won't. You go to the beach, you don't have to worry about, snow. You're in the Northeast where my goodness, there's more ice or excuse me, more salt on the ground than there is snow. Will it dent? The Lightning will. The CyberTruck will not. Less maintenance. It looks better on your $90,000 vehicle, can get a dent. The frunk. This is, like I said before, seems to be what Ford has put all their eggs in this one basket. They have an amazing frunk. I would concur. I think it is nice. I think it's big. I like the way that you can enter from the front. I think they've done this right. However, I haven't seen Tesla's frunk just yet. And it may not be as good, but they could put a drain in it. They could certainly put outlets all over the vehicle. This isn't a technology that Tesla can't do on their own in 15 minutes in the design phase. So I'm leaving this as too early to tell. Maybe we could just give it to Ford, but for these purposes, I'm just going to leave it in we don't know yet. Onboard generator. So they both have a battery. So they both, for all intents and purposes, have a generator. Is one better than the other? I don't know. I say too early to tell, but there you have it. Home generator. Well, here, I'll finally give Ford some credit. I think this is great that they've stuck their neck out to try to do this. And I think it will probably force Tesla, who was maybe pondering the idea or not, to do it. But let me explain a couple things since I'm in this industry. So this is not V2G. So everyone out there keeps saying this is vehicle to grid. It's not vehicle to grid. Okay, vehicle to grid is when your car connects to the grid and you can share power with the utility if they need it, and they can pay you, and there's all sorts of things that you're pushing power either direction. This is not that. This is running your house with a big battery for a period of time if an ice storm comes down to Texas and you don't have power. Great idea. However, keep in mind, Ford is sort of suggesting that this is some simple thing. You just buy this truck and you drive it in the driveway and you plug it in the garage, and now all of a sudden, wow, you have a generator. No. There's two things. Number one, these batteries run on DC power. So your house runs on AC power. So in order to, you have to have an inverter. You have to change that from DC to AC. So you'll have to have an inverter in your home to do that. It's more money. You have to make sure it fits. You know, all the questions that are there. Furthermore, you need to have a transfer switch. Transfer switch basically stops the electricity from running out of the house and going down the street. And if, say, a thunderstorm came through and a branch fell and there's a lineman out there trying to fix the power, you don't want your pickup truck generator sending electricity down the line and killing him. So a transfer switch recognizes there's no power, disconnects from the grid, and lets you run your home. This certainly can be done. But again, you need to have this transfer switch, and you have to have the inverter, and you have to know that your panel in your home can facilitate this. And this is awesome technology. I want Tesla to do it, but this isn't something so simple where everyone's going to have this, and you just drive the truck in the driveway and you have it. Okay, finally, last but certainly not least, I have just run through 22 different reasons or different ways to categorize value in a pickup truck, okay? As far as I can tell, the Cybertruck has won 19 of them, and maybe it's a tie or maybe it's not for 3 of them. And the final one is, which would make it 20, at least at this stage, wins for Tesla, is price. The Ford Lightning is suggesting their price is $90,474. The Cybertruck will be $69,900. That is a $20,574 difference in price between a Cybertruck that wins in every single category and a Ford Platinum that loses in every single category. So I don't know how anyone on the internet, on the news, on CNBC, is telling people that Ford has just invented the greatest pickup truck of all time and is going to now slaughter the Cybertruck. I don't see it. Now, if you don't want something that looks different than a regular pickup truck, okay, I guess you're going to pay $20,000 more to have a truck that's not as good. I could maybe see that in the short term. I don't know, folks. I can't explain why people think this. It's a slam dunk from Tesla. They win in every category. I want to explain one final thing, and that is, I know that the shape and the look of the Cybertruck is not everyone's favorite. And I think the misunderstanding is, and the reason why Tesla is so much better is people think that Tesla built a triangle-shaped truck and then said, okay, how do we make it really, really amazing? And it's actually the exact opposite. The reason the Tesla Cybertruck looks the way it is because it had to, okay? Tesla looked and said, what is wrong with the pickup truck world and why do they have these limitations, whether it be payload or distance or whatever it is, okay? All the features, okay? And they realized that by making an exoskeleton, there was a lot of things they could do. They could save costs. They could save weight. They could make it bigger inside. It would be stronger. It would hold more. So people don't understand this, okay? And it's not that they want it to look like this. It has to look like this. So ultimately, if Ford, if Chevy, if Dodge, if anyone wants to compete with the capabilities of a Cybertruck, they will have no choice other than to follow suit. Okay? And until they realize that, and until the public realizes that, they are going to be behind and never catch up. And the real problem is that Tesla isn't slowing down now. They are continuing to revolutionize the way trucks are built, and it's going to be hard. It doesn't look, in my view, it does not look good for the big three. They better get their act together soon.
Well, good evening and welcome to Dearborn, home of the Ford Motor Company. The F-150 is the world's most popular and trusted truck, and the F-150 Lightning will be the smartest, cleanest F-150 ever.
Like and subscribe to this video because I am actually going to be one of the first Cybertruck owners, and I have some NDAs that I can't go through as to what we're doing, but once we come out of the factory with the Cybertruck, I think there's something really exciting that you're going to want to see, so stay tuned.